They lost their shutters. They got the screws for them.
That's I think that's the hurricane. Those things that we saw in the. That's where you hook.
Oh, we would hook them. Okay.
They all hurricane.
Oh, I see, because they're around that too.
Your hurricane shutters or whatever they're called.
Well, you could probably hook Christmas lights to them too.
Yeah.
Nobody home.
Look how big the carpet was.
Really good.
Oh, I hate that. Should we take our shoes
floor,
off?
too.
Look, and there's no place to go without carpet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I don't know why you wouldn't have a mat.
Mama, the new carpet.
We showed this house.
Mama,
Open.
let's go to
The new house.
let's go to the,
I know.
living
Do you
room.
leave that in?
Living room. Living
Yeah,
room.
Abigail. This is probably like an office.
What?
Office?
Do they not have electricity? Show the house.
It smells so good.
It does. It sounds like a new house.
It really
Look at
does.
the bar. Oh, yes. The carpets are soft. Oh my
Yes,
god.
oh my gosh, these carpets feel so good on your
It's
feet.
humongous.
Dang, this is kind of a tiny dining room though.
I got a blaster.
Well, that's the formal dining there. That's a
Oh, so that's what that is.
Oh, I hate when people have carpet in their dining rooms.
I would think
Master.
about it. You can use it for everything.
Yeah, we wouldn't use it for an room. We would use this. You're right. You'd have to have a
This
small
would have the
table.
bench table would fit perfectly right here.
Yeah, probably. Or this could be a study.
Yeah.
Or another bedroom if you put a door up. And
Come
a
look,
door
come
closet.
look.
Baby, give us a minute, okay? I do like this. I like the staggered of that.
I like the cabinets. Are
Yeah.
nice.
Another
Very
garbage
nice.
disposal. We had a garbage disposal.
Yeah, it's new carpet because
That
here's the
minute.
sample for it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got the sample for the carpet and for hardwood.
Dang, they went all out. How much is this house?
It is $175.
So it's cheaper than the other one.
It looks
Well,
nice.
this one's got 1,620 square feet. The other one had 18.
Oh, okay. I see. This is not. Oh my gosh.
This is freaking huge.
Huge.
This door is
You got a bathtub and a shower.
The bathtub is huge.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, I love this closet. It's diamond shaped. Look. In this room for shoes.
Look, there's even a rack above it.
You, Dad.
Look,
You know,
look,
Dad's
look.
really short.
Mama, look how big
He's
this
taller than I
bathtub
am.
Sure.
Mama,
Look,
look how big this bathtub is.
And then look. You
Oh
can
my
see the
goodness.
bed,
Let's
Mom?
see. Abigail, don't get in the bathtub.
Look. Come on.
My kids. My kids without
And
my
the
husband are
carpet.
bad.
You can close and you can still put shoes on top.
It's a high door
Let's call
toilet.
it a soaker tub, I guess.
Another
Uh-huh.
thing, you can't
Yeah,
smell
it
Dad's
is. It is
poop.
like a soaker tub.
Can't smell Dad's poop.
Isabella.
Lord.
Let's see how they did this floor.
I like this floor. Look at it, Mom.
This is huge to be just a bath. I mean, just to be a toilet. It's huge in there.
Does this thing have jets? No, how lame. Remember when you had jets?
Yes, I do.
I like these cabinets.
I do too. I do too. This is huge.
We're leaving footprints.
See,
You
the
see our
other,
shape of our foot.
the other house, I guess the extra room is the bedroom. That's where the, you know.
How many bedrooms is this?
This one's only 3,
Oh, dang.
so I don't know. Oh, they forgot to take their car out of the backyard.
Let's go over here.
My mom's in here. She's
Oh, this
filming
one
her
looks
YouTube
bigger.
video.
This one might be Isabella's. Oh yeah.
I love the doors.
Close me,
I
close
love the
me.
double door closet
Mama,
too.
close me real quick.
Girl, I'm gonna leave you here.
No.
Does it come with a playground thing outside? Do you know?
You certainly can ask for it.
I think I like this room better.
I can camp all by myself.
Huh?
I think I like this room better.
Yeah, these are big rooms.
I like this house.
There's no place for eBay.
I escaped.
You can get a shed in the backyard. We already own a shed.
There we go.
All your
This
stuff
room.
in the backyard.
Or the garage. I wouldn't look at the garage.
We don't need a garage anyways, so you can use it for the garage. Yeah.
Honey, I know.
Okay. Wait, we need juice to go in the back,
Another
right?
playset.
That's what I'm asking. Does it come with it?
Says
It probably does because it's concreted in now that I see it.
I can't open this door.
Let me see.
I got it.
Oh, it's locked, y'all. Stop.
Why is it locked?
But it's concreted in, so I bet it does.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the poles,
There's
they're...
enough room for it. They have a bicycle out here and everything.
Oh, I gotta have the key.
That's weird. Why do you have to have the key?
Because it's a double cylinder, so you can't punch the glass in and unlock the door. Grandma always had her key hanging. Remember, whenever you went to Grandma, she always had her key hanging because she had gates on hers. Grandma Palmer.
Yes.
And she always had her keys hanging right beside the door, so that in case of a fire, we could all get out.
Yep. That's so nobody can come in.
Grandpa was
Break the
paranoid
door
about
down.
fire.
Really? Was he in a
Don't go
fire
out there.
before?
Don't go out there.
I'm not.
You know,
Hey, there's a person on the back porch. They're staring at us.
Oh, he waved.
There's a bird. Yeah, there's backyard. Let's.
it's kind of holding water back there.
It sure is.
Of course, we've had a lot of rain, but to me, this, this cracking and this might be really soft ground. Might have been.
Yeah.
What kind of area was this? Was this kind of a marshy area?
Yeah, before they started building. That's a nice little piece of equipment right there. Even Abigail could still play on that.
But that would be something to ask about. Yeah, that's nice.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, full of toys and stuff. I filmed this whole house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this kitchen. It
Oh,
looks
I
very
did.
roomy.
Okay, so here's the little part.
See, there's a crack right here.
Mama, this would be that's such a
That looks
line.
like it's scored. I mean, that's not a crack. It's like
Yeah, that's a
somebody
straight
did
line.
that.
That's
Somebody
what they.
did that.
This would be perfect for our cell room. We don't need to park our cars.
Oh my
in here.
gosh, if they would leave those shelves, that would help.
They must have had a garage.
Yeah, it looks like they had a garage sale. Yeah, it's kind of.
Oh, look at that little sailor suit. That's
Aw.
cute.
And then look at all this.
That mirror's gorgeous.
Yeah, that mirror is so pretty. Here?
Huh?
Why is there? Did they smoke in here?
Did they what?
You see that smoke.
Smoke?
Oh no, the walls, they just never painted them back.
Oh, they're not finished. They
Yeah,
don't
that's-
finish the garage walls. That would be
Yeah.
something you would have to do if you wanted to.
Apparently they had kids.
Where's the
Yeah, they had kids.
Where's the garage doors?
Got them out.
So, yeah.
There's a towel and some soap.
That's in case they need to take a bath. They
What?
come back one more time and
What'd she say?
soap and a towel.
There's your covers for your hurricane shed.
So all of them come with that then. Oh, and the air conditioner thing's out here.
Out here.
Oh, yeah, good.
I do like that. It's kind of out
Look,
of the
there's
house.
light.
You
Look,
know?
that light.
Mm-hmm.
These shelves are perfect for my mom. Hey, there's an attic in every single one I've seen so far.
Yeah.
They have a Polar Pop in the fridge.
It's meant to be, isn't it? It's meant to be a Polar Pop.
Polar Pop. There's 2 waters. There's
She's
some oranges,
obsessed
there's
with
a
Polar
bag.
Pops.
I don't know what that is. Got Polar Pop in the car right now.
Y'all both do.
There's nothing in the freezer. Oh, that's cold.
Oh, is there a Circle K around here? I know that was on your list.
Yes, that's her.
We went
That
to
was
Circle
her.
K. We
That
went to
was
Circle
100%
K.
her.
Because I knew that was right there when I found it, when I figured
How
there was a
funny.
Circle K
That was
around.
just a joke though.
Why is there
I know.
still
It
the
was-
key in there? Isabella needs
She's
a Circle
very
K.
serious
Why is the
about it.
key
I
still
think
This
there?
about
house was built in 2010.
Why is the key still there?
So this one's 4 years and they were 6.
Yeah,
I'm gonna move. I was going towards it.
Oh, and the next house,
Y'all.
the next house that we're gonna look, they do have an offer on it, but it's, but the person that's put the offer on it has to sell their house first, so it's first right of refusal.
We put an offer in. We're going to have to give up some stuff. The house that we chose
We chose it for several reasons. There is a place for everything in the house. There's not much extra space. Actually, as a matter of fact, there's no extra space. So we have to have a place for everything, and everything has to stay in its place. Excuse my cold, I'm sorry. It's not really a cold, it's just laryngitis. But I really wanted to get this video up because hopefully we'll be moving soon. But I'm skipping to the end. So let me go through the steps of how USDA has handled my home loan after my offer. Okay, so this is our third house that we've put an offer in on. But this one's different because we're working with the seller on this one. The rest of them were pretty fast to say no, they wouldn't accept, or they gave us an offer back that we couldn't accept because we didn't have the money. This one we are having to give up some stuff. There is an HOA. We hate HOAs. We didn't want to have anything to do with HOAs, but this one has an HOA. But it does have a lake that's well stocked with fish. So my husband at least is getting that, right? It does not have land. It is not less than $155,000. It does have carpet. It does not have any extra space. There is no porch. There's no covered outside anything. It is the same school system. That's great because it's in another town. I didn't even know any other towns used our school. They have their own school, but this one, we're right on the other side of the line, so at least we're in this school. It's large enough for us. It's a nice neighborhood. It has a fenced-in backyard. It's extremely clean. It's move-in ready. So our offer was, they were asking $175. We offered $168 with the seller pay closing cost, survey, warranty, and termite bond, and for them to leave the playground equipment. They countered, but they only gave us 24 hours to respond. We put our offer in on December the 23rd. They countered on December 24th, giving us to Christmas Day to respond. Well, our bank was closed. Our credit union was closed at that point. So we had to, first off, ask for an extension because, come on, 24 hours Christmas Day? No. But they responded at $175,000. No swing set. They took all the playground equipment. Ugh. It was nice equipment, but whatever. But they said they would pay $5,000 of closing costs. $5,000. Well, closing's probably going to be about $7,000. So yes. I hate that we're at the top of our budget at $175,000, but what you going to do? But they did ask that we close within the month. So that's what our holdup was on not accepting it. We had to talk to our credit union about that part, about closing within the month. So they did accept our offer to extend the offer to the 26th. So we got with the credit union, and the credit union said that we had to have 60 days to close. Oh, and the seller agreed to pay 1 year of termite bond but no home warranty. They did not agree to that. So the credit union came back and said, closing 2/6 of 2020, or let us be able to extend it until March 3rd. So closing by February 6th, or allow us to extend to March 3rd. And we said, okay on the swing set, as long as they filled in all the concrete holes and all that stuff, so we're not, holding water out there. Okay, so on December the 27th, I was on Zillow, and I noticed that the listing was shown not for sale. It didn't say under contract. It didn't say anything like that. It just said not for sale. So I called my real estate agent, and she's like, what? No. They didn't say anything about anybody else looking at it, but we never were told that they accepted our counteroffer. They did. They accepted our counteroffer. we found out. We did have a little stressful moment right there, though. It was us. We're the reason it came off. So, December the 31st, my credit union requested more paperwork. They needed tax returns and W-2s for 2017 and 2018. They needed most recent 2-month bank statements, most recent 30-day check stubs, most recent retirement statements, and a copy of a home insurance quote. Now, I sent a lot of that before, but they pretty much just needed, I guess, to update the records. On January the 1st, my real estate agent called me and said that she needed $500 earnest money. I didn't know what $500 earnest money was. I mean, I'm new at this. We bought a house when I was 19 years old. We had it for 10 years. That's been, and we've rented since then. So let's see, 29, that's been, 12 years ago that we have not been homeowners. And, 20 some odd years ago since we originally did this. So I didn't know what $500 earnest money was, and I didn't have it set aside because when we first started doing all this, the credit union said the only thing that we needed to pay for, if we got the seller to pay closing costs, the only thing that we needed to pay out of pocket for was the appraisal. So we had the money set aside for the appraisal, but that was it. So I scrimped and scraped and dug up $500 for the earnest money. Well, then on January 2nd, I was told I needed to get an inspection done. Well, I knew the inspection was coming, but I kind of got those mixed up, the inspection and the appraisal. So, I don't know, I was like combining the two in my head. So, when they said I needed $250 for the inspection, I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot less than I thought. So, I got with the inspector, I paid him $250 and had that done. And the inspection went great, by the way. He inspected the house and said everything looked brand new. He said there wasn't nothing wrong with nothing. The ice maker, we couldn't get it to work, but he said that wasn't part of his inspection, but he checked it anyway for us. And the next time we went out to the house, because we've been out to the house several times, we were there with the inspector for 2 hours that night. And then we went back again. Our real estate agent got with their real estate agent, asked if I could show it to my mom. So she came out and showed it to my mom. And when we went out that time after the inspection, the ice maker worked. So they must have fixed that for us. That and the string on the garage door opener, when he pulled it, it was dry rotted. It pulled off. They fixed that. And he said the heat pump wasn't hooked up correctly, but it looked brand new. So they really didn't find nothing wrong with that house. The gates on the outside fence, there's 2 gates, and the latches need fixed. I mean, come on, what's that? $10 max. So on January 6th, the bank or the credit union sent me an email and said they needed $570 in my savings account with them to get the appraisal done. And I was like, hold up. I just gave $500 earnest money. I just gave $250 for the inspection. And now I got to give $570 for the appraisal. USDA, no down payment. I wasn't thinking right. I mean, I wasn't thinking closing cost, appraisal, inspection, all that stuff. I was like mixing that up with the down payment. Down payment's totally different. No down payment is like you don't have to put 3.5% down like you would with HUD or whatever. Down payment, closing cost, appraisal, inspection, earnest money, all that's different. So if you're going through this, be prepared for earnest money. $500 they say is a common number. Be prepared for an inspection. They said $250 is a very reasonable inspection. Sometimes they run upwards of $500 or more. So, but you have the choice to use who you want to use for that inspection. But the appraisal, on the other hand, is the bank or the credit union. It's their doing. So they choose who that is, but you have to pay that. So $1,320 is what we had to pay within 6 days. It was asked for within 6 days. Don't you know we did some scrimping and scraping, and we've had a very, very tight budgeted month. But we didn't have it that day, honestly. We had to wait until we got paid, so we didn't pay that until the 9th. January the 9th is when we put that money in the savings account for them. And they pulled it out as soon as we put it in there. That bank pulled it out, or that credit union pulled it right out. And then on January the 6th, also, I got a message from somebody else at our credit union. This guy was the mortgage processor. The guy that I was dealing with before that was the mortgage loan officer, is who I'd been dealing with. So now I was dealing with a mortgage processor as well as the mortgage loan officer. Well, the mortgage processor needed profit and loss statements for the entire year of 2019 for eBay and all my reselling stuff. The USPS contact phone number for HR, because I work 1 day a week or more sometimes, but mainly 1 day a week for USPS. Don's retirement statement through his job. Our most recent 2-month statements for our checking account. All of our W-2s for 2018 and 2019. He needed a copy of the appraisal. He needed copies of mine and my husband's driver's license. And he needed a letter explaining why I had $50 a pay period coming out of my USPS check. Well, it was kind of funny because my $50 every pay period is going into their bank, into the savings account. So that kind of tickled me. Let's see. And then on January the 8th, the same mortgage processor asked me to finalize our house insurance because it was in quote mode and they couldn't do anything with it in quote mode. It had to be a final thing. It could start on February the 6th, which is when they were proposing closing would be, but it had to be finalized. And there's no money down to finalize it, so that's good. So at this point, we're only up to $1,320 paid. It was silence from January the 9th, when I put the $570 in there, to January the 15th, nothing. I heard nothing for 6 days. So almost a week, nothing. I asked for an update. On January the 15th, when I asked for an update, the mortgage loan officer replied back, I know the appraisal is back. It has to be reviewed by our underwriter before we can send it to you. From what I can tell, it is where it needs to be as far as evaluation. For a USDA loan, your house has to appraise for the loan amount or more. They will not give you a loan for $175,000 if the house appraised for $174,000. They'll only give you $174,000. Then on January the 17th, I got an email from the mortgage processor saying that our house insurance policy exceeded the policy maximum deductible. Their maximum deductible amount was $1,000 or 1% of the house. We had it at $1,500, so I had to call and change that. Also on January 17th, I was asked for Don's 401k terms of withdrawal. I was asked for 2 months of asset statements for a savings account that we hardly ever use. I mean, hardly ever. We put the money in there, we take it right back out. And the only reason we put money in there is it's automatic sweep. I was asked for better copies of 2017 and 2018 W-2s, more clearer copies. And I was asked for documentation of car reimbursement payments from Don's work. Silence until January 27th. Again, I asked for an update. A copy of the appraisal was sent to me, and it's exactly what it appraised for $175,000. I know that when it was originally billed, it was $273,000, and I was told that we were on target for a February 6th closing date. January the 30th, I got an email from the mortgage loan officer saying that I needed to get they had a letter to extend attached to the email, and then I needed to get that letter to extend signed by the seller. And Dawn and I, sign it too and get it back to him. Actually, he told me to give it to my real estate agent and have her do it, and get it back to him. Because the USDA in Alabama was running 10 days behind on their files. So they were asking to move closing to February the 21st. Well, on February the 4th, I found out the sellers never did answer. They never even looked at their email. They're not emailers, I heard. I didn't know anybody wasn't an emailer nowadays. But February 4th, they'd never even seen that email asking to extend, so they hadn't signed it or anything, but they did quickly sign it and get it back. And then February 7th, I got a call from first the mortgage processor telling me that closing was definitely February the 18th. Actually, he said closing was February the 21st, but if we wanted to do it any day that week, we could as early as February 18th because February 17th was a holiday. So, of course, I jumped on February 18th because we are ready to go. Good Lord, we've been doing this for how long now? We put the offer in on this house on December 23rd. So it took from December 23rd, our original offer, to closing is February the 18th. Now, my fingers are crossed because until we sign those papers, this house is not ours. But we have started packing some. I hope we're not jinxing it. But, we have a closing date. They said everything's finalized. We're done. We're good. But I will give you a update on February the 18th. Tell you how it goes. That's all I can do. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And leave any questions down below. And we will definitely try to answer them